This is Randall Root, and this video is about performing the steps in exercise 2-3. In this exercise, your goal is to create a new SSIS project in the Chapter 2 solution. Once that's done, you'll be adding in a pre-existing SSIS ETL package. So to start off with, you'll be going through and adding in a brand new project to the Weather Tracker solution. So currently, the Weather Tracker solution would not have had any projects. In fact, let me go over to the book files example. That's the original. And then what you're going to do is end up with a completed solution that has a couple of project folders in it. The project folder we're working on in this exercise is Weather Tracker ETL. So to get that, what you're going to do is you're going to add a new project to the solution. And that's what the first section is about. Now, so that you guys don't have to create the integration services package file yourself. That's what this DTSX file is. What I have you do is just add the existing package file to the project you make. Later on in the book, of course, we'll learn how to create your own. But for this one, you just go through and add that file. The goal here is just to kind of give you the idea of how projects go inside of solutions and how files go inside of projects. That's kind of the point. And of course, I would like you to be able to see what a SSIS package looks like. So once you go and add the package file off the file system from the book files folder, it will go ahead and open up, and you'll be able to kind of explore the different aspects of that package file. You don't really do a whole lot in here. You basically just take a look at the various different aspects of it. Now, in order for it to work, it'll be looking for files in a given location. So if you had changed the name of the folders where the files are supposed to be copied and pasted to, this thing will break. So that's not what you want to do, obviously. In addition to that, if you have installed SQL Server, if you've installed SQL Server on something other than the local connection, you'll have to modify the connection string. So I do explain in the text about something called named instances. So hopefully you'll have gotten a chance to read about that. But that will be kind of an issue. Once you've made your connection, I guess maybe I should talk about that for a second. The deal is that when you have a SQL Server installed, it can be installed more than once. Like here, I have a default installation of SQL Server 2012 on my machine called Northwest Tech 01. I also, though, have an additional installation for SQL Express. Both of them are installed on this machine, and I can actually interact with both of them in Management Studio. The deal is that when I want to connect to SQL Express, I have to make sure that I use the name of my computer, although a dot or the word local will suffice as well, a backslash, and the name instance. In SQL Express, the name instance will be SQL Express. But in the book, you'll see when I talk about I had named a installation of my SQL Server with the given name of SQL 2012. You can actually make up any name you want. But the deal is that if I'm going through the exercise and I'm trying to connect to my local server, it'll only work if my 2012 installation where my DW weather tracker is the default installation. Default installation can be connected to by just the name of the computer or the words local in parentheses, or for that matter, localhost without parentheses, go figure, or a dot. But be that as it may, the ones where you don't put the slash, ones without the slash, that's the default. Ones with a slash and some other name afterwards, that's what's called a named instance. So I'm assuming that most readers will have it installed as a local. But just in case, that's what the deal is. So you would double click on that and you'd verify that the connection works. This little test button that you can click on, I show you back in figure 32 what it looks like and talk about it in some more detail. Hopefully this will help you. Now once you have brought the package in and you've actually executed, what it's going to do is it's going to copy the data from the text file and put it in that database. And what will happen is that the database at that point in time, the database being the DW weather tracker, will have data. Of course, when you first make it, there shouldn't be any data in there. But once you run that package, there will be. Let's see how fast this thing opens up. It's not too bad. Sometimes it could be kind of slow. Now, I'm glad I opened this. Occasionally this happens. When you first open it up, there's nothing there to look at. And it's because the Solution Explorer, which is this particular tab here, doesn't come to the forefront. In fact, sometimes it's not even there. When that happens, you just go up to the View menu and choose Solution Explorer from there. Then it will show. It is also just one of those weird little bugs. It doesn't happen for everybody. But when it does, it can really confuse you. Anyway, so here's the package. And I'll go ahead and double click on it so it opens. Oh, when I'm running this video recording software, the double click doesn't always work out so well. Just take a few seconds for it to open. Okay, well, just open it that way. You can see what it does is it has various different tasks that it's going to perform. You can investigate this. Again, we're going to talk about it in more detail in later chapters. The key thing is, though, is that these connections work. So what I'll do is I'll double click on these connections down here and verify that the test connection works. Yeehaw! You can see that it connects to my local machine and the database that was in question. Remember that if it doesn't connect, because you're not using the default instance, you're using named instance, you're going to have to add that in, like my named instance, if you call it that. Whatever you call it. Also, I guess I better check to see that the text file is going to work. They don't have a nice little convenient button for that, but they do have a preview. If the preview works, you're golden. Okay, I think it's going to work now. So, the trick will be to go through and execute the package. Right there. And if it runs and goes green, we're in good shape. Sweet. It's kind of weird. You have to stop this thing after it finishes. You think it would stop itself, and it doesn't. You can do it in a couple ways. One visual way to do it is just go up to debug and say stop debugging. But there's also a link down at the bottom. I'll explain more in the book. Hey, once that's done, you can go back and check to see if the tables are empty. They shouldn't be. You should actually have gotten data filled up in that. And that was kind of the point. So in this particular exercise, what I want you to do is go through and add in a new project. Make it an SSIS project. Once you've made the SSIS project, you would then go through and add in the pre-made package I had. Once you did that, you kind of check the connections, and once you did that, you'd run it and then make sure that you have data in the database. Anyway, I hope you found that helpful. I'll move on to the next video.